Right, in this video I'm going to be doing a critical review on the Panasonic NA-FS14GS3 SZA. It's an inverter, top loader, EcoNavi, and this is what it looks like. I'm going to quickly run through the challenges I've had with this machine. Alright, just to explain how often we use this, I do about 10 to 15 loads a week. Alright, so the first year was pretty much trouble-free, except for one problem. Alright, so this is the underside of the washing machine, and over here you've got the impeller, and what it does is it drains the washing machine. So there's the pipe, and this would go to your pipe, would be connected to your drain, and what would happen is the machine would try and drain, and you would hear it just going zzz. And what had happened is a toothpick blocked the impeller, and another occasion it was a rivet, so like a nail. So yes, obviously before you do your washing you want to empty your pockets, but this was quite annoying because there should have been a filter prior to this to stop that from happening. So I've now had to fish out a toothpick, a rivet, and then a rivet again. So 3 times I've had to get under this machine to sort that out. Now what you're seeing here is like a gear system that affects the clutch. There's the clutch system, and what happens is when the machine wobbles too much or the load is too heavy or unbalanced, it's intelligent enough to know that, and then what it does is it removes the motor drive from the drum to reduce the speed. So this thing is a variable lever, and it adjusts according to the loading or unbalanced loading of the machine. Right, so there was the one that broke. The gears in here get very tight and you can't move them, so that was another repair. Right, so what you're looking at is one of 4 little suspensions, and what this does is this suspends the drum so that the washing machine can absorb the vibration and slight movement. So now you would not expect that to wear out. This is something that should last about 10 years, and even the consultant who was very helpful at Panasonic explained to me there's no way that this is faulty. Right, so here is the older one. So what had happened is it's literally got almost no resistance. So I replaced 4 of these and the machine worked much better for the next 6 months. Right, the next problem is that incessant knocking. Now you're probably thinking that it's unbalanced, I haven't adjusted the feet properly. It's not that. I'll now show you the next problem with this washing machine. Now as you can see what has happened here, if you look at the drum, can you see how much free play the drum has? I mean, if you look at that, look at how much motion it's got. It's got so much motion that this drum has been whacking the sides here and it's actually broken the plastic shell that surrounds this drum. Right, now it's not uncommon to remove a drum from a washing machine. There are some wear and tear items. Unfortunately in this model, which is not even 4 years old, you can see this plate. Now this plate holds the drum, and what has happened is you can see it's got extensive free play. All these items are actually worn. So if I pull this out, I can actually look here and see that it's actually wore itself down. If I feel on the spindle, the washer that was holding the drum up is actually worn into the spindle. So what has happened is the drum was shaking and shaking and shaking, and this is the resultant effect. Now you can see the outer plastic casing that holds the water when it fills up, and look at that, look at my fingers coming through there. So the drum has been shaking and knocking and grinding into this outer plastic casing, and it is actually worn through almost right round. So if you have a look at that, so to fix this I would basically need to get an entire plastic casing, which means removing the whole motor assembly gear and changing, possibly having to change the bearing there. So if you're wondering how come this drum had so much movement and the machine didn't cut out, well, this is probably the reason. You see there's a safety lever. I think it's a safety lever because when you move it too much it kind of clicks, and guess what? It's actually broken. So it obviously wasn't cutting out the machine. Now in terms of this tub that has been gouged, I actually fixed mine. I found some parts around my house and I fixed it. But imagine buying a new tub and also having to fit that. You'd have to strip half the machine. Now in terms of this wobbling drum, which shouldn't have got to this situation, I couldn't get parts. Panasonic didn't have diagrams for the machine. Recently been taken over by another representative in my country. So they've obviously got some teething pains there. So I decided I'm not going to spend any more money on this machine, and I just try to fix it myself. This is my makeshift repair. It has been working now for some time, and I actually think it's fine. It'll probably work fine. Okay, just a few more pet peeves. I had the issue of an unbalanced wash. What would happen is you'd put a duvet in and maybe it shifted in an unbalanced manner and the drum would move too much, and then the machine would pick up the error, but then it would just start again. And then it would do that again and again and again. And then I would realize like 3 hours and this is still doing this first load and just wasting water. So it wasn't intelligent enough to actually cut out the machine and just stop it or give the user an error message saying unbalanced or whatever it is. Another pet peeve was that, which I think is common on many washing machines, if the outflow pipe is too low, the machine won't refill. So the outflow pipe has to be higher or at the same height as the lid of the machine. Otherwise, it did not refill the water. It just got stuck. The machine is 3 years and 3 months old. So there must be some good points about this machine, and there are. The first one is it cleans the washing pretty well. Initially, when it was still new, it didn't make much noise, which is wonderful. It would do a nice full load and you could barely hear the machine. Obviously, that deteriorated over time. The other thing is, originally when I did contact Panasonic, the spares department here in South Africa were excellent. They provided very good service and the gent was very knowledgeable about the product. However, subsequently that has changed and I've actually found it quite challenging. In fact, I wasn't able to get parts for this last repair that I had to do, and that's why you can see I've got rivets and my own solution because I couldn't get parts. I've observed this machine in detail. I've watched the cleaning sequence, and it's intelligent. It does clever things, like it will spin the machine and then add a little bit of water just before it starts the next cycle. It'll add a little bit of more water and then drain it. And it's clever because a little bit of sediment collects in the tub, and that does an extra little clean. So the program that it follows is intelligent, and I won't fault it on that side of the functionality. But overall, I don't think I'll be buying another top loader from Panasonic. I'm not saying that other brands are worse or better. I'm just saying that this particular model of washing machine was a bit challenging for me. I'm not sure if it was a dud on my side, but now it's time to try another top loader. For all I know, maybe they all, maybe most of them give you the similar unreliable performance. Anyway, thanks for watching and cheers.